150.
That's it. I thought it was more. I really wish I could grow a full beard, man.
The only thing I hate about this is that you can't, like, it has to be, I guess, vertical if you go live.
Okay.
I think, because
You can.
no, because see, orientation is locked. Rotate device back, unless there's a way
no
that
way
I
around
can. I don't know. Unless there's a way to change the orientation. I don't know how to change the orientation. So,
But it's through YouTube. Like,
yeah,
not
so
through the
it's
phone?
using your camera to do that. Hey Ray, well, we got a surprise guest. Well, not surprise guest because he's here every Sunday. But
What's up, guys?
but we do have Leo, and I'll do Happy New Year, guys, and I'll do Mateo. He's chillaxing down there. Say hi, Papa. So he is chillaxing. We are a little bit early, but that's because we are going to be. I can't see the glare, and this thing sucks. I wonder if I can see. No, that's got to be pointing towards.
There you go.
Yeah. So the glare kind of sucks, guys. So what's up, Mark? All right, can you all hear me? Hopefully you can, because we're outside. If someone can just give a thumbs up if you can hear me or not. Hopefully you can. Happy New Year's, Jojo. Mr. Yak Daddy, Happy New Year. Well, good. And we do have a fan blowing, guys, in case you all are wondering, because Mateo's he's not really close to us. He's off to the side. He's like off over there. And I know we're smoking cigars, but we do have a fan up above us that's blowing the smoke away from him. So in case anybody's kind of like concerned or wondering. But yeah, we are doing our Q&A a little early this Sunday just because Leo's here, and then we're going to be cooking out probably about 5:36. We're actually going to be doing some fajitas and sausage, so I wasn't going to have time to watch the grill and do this thing. And man, this glare, man, we decided to do this outside, but man, this sun is killing me. Oh yeah, these are cool. Man, these are nice. Guys, we've had these sitting in my Boise State cooler. Let me show you the cooler. It's kind of cool. I won this cooler when we were, me and my brother-in-law Louis, we went to take my daughter to Boise like 2 winters ago. And we went to Twin Peaks, and they had a raffle for a cooler. And it was a cooler, it was a grill, and it was a chair. So we got this cooler. It's a Cordova cooler. It's pretty much like a Yeti, and it has a Boise State emblem on there. This thing's pretty cool, guys. It's almost like a Yeti. So we've had those beers. That ice is probably like 5 days old. I have no idea. It's super old. But it's keeping everything chilled. And I love that cooler. These beers are super cold, which is nice.
Very nice.
So it's a nice cooler to have. So yeah, anyways, Happy New Year's, guys. Hopefully everyone's doing great. Like I said, we're probably going to be on here. Didn't have any specific thing to talk about. We're just basically waiting for the wife to get home. And while we're waiting, we're just, like I said, smoking some cigars, having some beers. And then when she gets here, then we'll move on. But yeah. Oh, so one thing I would talk about. A couple people keep asking about where we get our minnows from. And sorry about the sun, but we actually get our minnows, guys. It's Bud's Bait and Tackle. So they actually did message me this morning, one of the owners, and she just wanted me to kind of help spread the word that they did move locations. So if you've ever been to their second location, because they had one in the town of Whitsett, I believe, then they moved a little bit further going towards Choke Canyon. I think it's off FM 72. I could be wrong though, but later on I could put their address in the description. But they just moved again to a third location. I was just there yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, because I had to go buy some bait. The new location is real nice. It's actually in an old. It was in a Mexican restaurant, I guess, that went out of business. So they actually took over the restaurant. So they're using the restaurant setup to set up their shop. It's really nice. It's a really nice layout. They're still working on getting their beer license, and then they are in the process of working with the Hunt's Pizza. So they're going to have Hunt's Pizza being sold in there, which is pretty nice. But they do have their minnows. Real nice shop, guys. So it's Bud's Bait and Tackle. The minnows are pretty affordable. I think they're like $4.99 for a dozen. That's actually not too bad. And if you guys saw my last video, I know we were catching most of the white bass on lures, but the minnows I did have on that trip were pushing 6 days old in my cooler. And yeah, some died. I think maybe like 10 or 12 died, but I had like 4 dozen, so that's really not that bad after 6 days. Actually was pretty good. Yeah, it flew up on that thing, did. Yeah, that's fine. We're trying to control the sun as much as we can. But yeah, guys, Bud's Bait and Tackle. If you guys want to go check them out, like I said, they just moved their location. So if you guys need some minnows and you're in the Choke Canyon area, go buy some minnows, guys. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, if not, you're just gonna just watch us drinking beers, I guess. I'm trying to think what else people have been asking questions about recently. I don't know. Anybody have any questions about? Oh, there we go. Oh man, that's a Happy New Year's one. That's an old video. Jojo. Yeah, that one. No. What did I, how did I do that? No, what did I do? Jojo, I don't know what I did. Unhide, okay, sorry. All right, Jojo, I hope you're there. I pushed the wrong button. If you're still there, give a thumbs up. Sorry about that. Trying to see what your message was. God dang, I don't know what I did. Sorry. It was about, I saw it quickly of, okay, you're still on there. Good. Sorry, I think I hit accidentally like the ban button. Wrong button. I don't want to do that. Yeah, the Dunlap video. That one's from probably 6-7 years ago. Went fishing with my buddy Scott, and yeah, we got a 64-pound blue out of Lake Dunlap on a jug, on a noodle jug for that matter. Tell you what, if we weren't in like 6-7 feet of water, that jug would have been long gone. We never would have found it. Thankfully, we did revive the fish, and we were able to put that fish back. So he's back in the water there somewhere. And look who's here.
Are you doing your Sunday thing? OMG.
And the wife's home. Well, we were trying to do it before you got here so that we can start cooking. That was the whole plan.
Good.
Yeah. So
I'll go change.
So there we are. So wife's home, guys.
The law's home.
Oh yeah, so the trolling motor. Yeah. So how long did they last? Okay, you have a different question. I thought you were asking about the trolling motor fiasco I just had a couple of days ago. No, so the trolling motor we have, it's a Minn Kota iPilot. God, guys, I think it's an 80 thrust. I gotta really check on that. I get so many questions on that, and I always answer them in text messages, and then I end up forgetting what the hell I have. But it's a Minn Kota. It's an iPilot. It's a 24 volt, so it does end up using 2 batteries. Okay, the batteries will last. I'd say they last a good while. So a good example would be. So in August, when we went down to the coast, we went down to the coast in August, and we were keeping the boat on a slip on the water, and we fished for 5 straight days, and I had no way of charging the batteries, so those batteries did last the 5 days that we were there, thank God. And we were fishing about, oh God, we were probably fishing, 7-8 hours each day. Now, granted, not all of the days we used the trolling motor. We definitely did use it the 2 days that we went out into the Gulf. We used it to do our spot lock, and when we were out on the water, both days we were probably on the water for like 5-6 hours, and we still had charge in the battery. And we did that those 2 days in the Gulf, we did those the last 2 days that we were there. So they actually do last a pretty good while. I do have on the boat though. It's called it's a Pro Marine, I believe is a brand, and it's a Pro Sport 12 is the unit that I have, that it's permanently installed in the inside cabinets of the boat, and that's what charges the 2 batteries. So it's just got an extension cord, and so all I do is when I put my boat into my storage, that extension cord, I have an outlet in my storage. I'm able to plug it in, and it charges the batteries up pretty well. So that's how I kind of have my setup. I did have like a little fiasco. So I had my 2 batteries I had in there probably about like 2 weeks ago. The batteries died on me, and I thought it was just the batteries because they were about a year old, but they should last about 2 years. And it seemed to always happen to my other trolling motor that I had on my last boat. The batteries lasted like a year, and I never paid much attention to it. But so I ended up getting 2 new batteries, but I kept the 2 old ones because I took them to AutoZone to have them checked. And unfortunately, I had a trip the very next day, so I couldn't wait for them to charge it. So I had to buy 2 more batteries. So I bought 2 new batteries. I put it in the boat, did my trips, went back to AutoZone, picked up the what I thought were the dead batteries, and they gave them back to me, and they said they were charged 100%. They said there was nothing wrong with them. So I was like, okay, well, not sure what happened.
So now you have 4 batteries.
So now I have 4 batteries.
Oh,
so I was keeping those 2 batteries as backups in my boat storage, and because they were batteries for my trolling motor, but they're also cranking batteries. So if ever my engine battery died, I could always use one of those. But anyways, continue with the story. The 2 new batteries I had, I ran about like probably 5 trips at the lake, and then I went out one day, and then the batteries were dead. And I was like, there's no way the new batteries should be not charged. So doing some investigation, come to find out the battery charger was actually crapped out. So I had to get a new one. So that's how that worked out. But now I got 4 batteries now, guys. So it's pretty funny. So Mark, no, I don't have a Humminbird. I actually have a Lowrance. It's a Lowrance Hook 9 triple shot. So I get the 3 screens on there. So it's a 9-inch screen. That's what I have on my boat. I don't have it paired up with my Lowrance unit. I don't know if I can. I know you can do it on the Humminbirds. I don't know how to do that part. I've never actually messed with it again. But I have the Lowrance, but I have heard, don't know for sure, but that you should be able to connect your iPilot to your Humminbird. I would be very interested to see how you do that, though, just to see how that works out. So if I in the future say I get another boat, I'll probably get a Humminbird instead.
A bigger boat.
So JoJo, the Reds at Calaveras, oh my God, this year has just been so crazy because of the weather. So I'm not hearing many reports out of Calaveras of people catching reds, but at Bronig, my buddy's there right now, and he's fishing and he's trolling some lures, and he's already up to like 4 or 5 reds. And I have another buddy who's been fishing off a kayak, and he just sent me pictures a couple days ago. He's getting reds. So at Bronig Lake, off boats or kayaks, they are still tearing up the reds pretty good from the pictures I've been seeing. But Calaveras, I haven't seen very much of Calaveras, but I guarantee you, if we had consistent cold weather, they wouldn't be catching the reds at Bronig probably either. But since it's been pretty warm, they've still been catching them there. So, hey, kudos to them. So I would probably say the reds for Calaveras, at least when I'm going to start trying for them, I probably won't try again till like maybe late March is when I will be back at the lake to try for the redfish. So for the white bass, hey, Yaya. Well, I know it's not Yaya, but the husband. I don't know your name. Tell me your name. But as far as down the river, I think we're going down about 2 miles. I've never actually recorded it to see how far the distance is, but I think it's close to about 2 miles down the river is where we've been getting them. And just every day is different, guys. We went one day and it's like almost everything we were catching was on minnows, and then we go the very next day and they weren't even touching the minnows and they were just hitting the lures. And then we go back another day and then they're back to the minnows again. So I have no idea. Is David okay? Yeah, David's good. Yeah, David's still there at the lake. Oh, sorry, Victor. Yeah. No, David, he's actually out there today. He had a trip out there today. When I went out there yesterday, he actually decided to try the main lake. He didn't have any clients. I think he was fishing with his son. So we've been talking about trying the main lake and see if we can find the fish over there. I just haven't had time because typically most of the days I have available, I'm with clients. So I need to go to where I know for sure I can try and get them, which is why I've been going to the river. But we've been talking about trying to fish the main lake. So I know he had an off day, so he decided to try the main lake. So the last day I was out there, that's why you didn't see him, in the background in his boat or whatnot. And then today I was off, and I didn't book a trip today. I purposely stayed off, and he's out there today. And then tomorrow, I can't remember if he told me has a trip or not tomorrow, but I know I'm taking, hopefully, knock on wood, my daughter wakes up. But my daughter and
We'll see about that one.
yeah, my daughter Alexis and Sydney, they're supposed to be joining me at 4 in the morning, so we can go out tomorrow, so we can stock up on white bass, because I need white bass for myself, and then I need white bass for her so she can take home so she can eat. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully David's out there tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see him in the background.
I need a day out so I can go.
So Jojo, did you get skunked at the river, or did you get skunked somewhere else? Were you fishing at the Guadalupe? Or were you actually down at the river? It's funny, guys, at the river, Calaveras. Ooh, yeah, Calaveras. It's a tough lake right now, guys. This time of year, it gets a little tough. But, I will tell you a story. Hey, Happy New Year. So, David, you're not going to be out there tomorrow? Tuesday? All right, guys, so there's David. Tell David hi. David's in the chat. So I guess David will not be out there tomorrow. So I guess I won't see him. But we'll see him Tuesday. I'll make sure I pan the camera so you guys see him in the background. Where's that question? Calaveras 14. Yeah, so Calaveras is pretty tough right now, guys. But a buddy of ours, mine and David's, he's another guide out there. He called me earlier. So get this. Hold on. His name is Jeff Boyden. He is a guide also at Calaveras Lake. So he called me earlier because he just landed the lake record blue for Calaveras Lake. The lake record is sitting at, I think it was 35 pounds, maybe 36. But he landed a 39.7 pound blue on rod and reel. So he had some clients out there, and I mean, guys, he sent me the picture, and that thing is massive. By far the biggest blue cat I've seen out of that lake. So he would have had the lake record. I told him to still register for the catch and release, but he called me, and kudos to him. Like, he really didn't want to kill the fish, right? He wanted to try and keep it alive. But of course he had some clients, and so it's their option if they want to keep the fish or not. And thankfully they did end up, leaving the fish behind. So they just took some pictures, and they ended up getting the weight. So had he taken it in, he would have had the official lake record for Calaveras Lake, sitting at about 39.7 pounds. And unfortunately, and David can attest to this, because David has a lake record for the flathead, there's no certified, you got to take it to a certified weigh station, and the closest one that we know of is at Medina Lake. So if you know San Antonio, Calaveras and Medina Lake, they're not close to each other. It's like an hour and a half away, probably. Unless you have a really massive, 50-gallon live well, that fish is going to be dead by the time you get it there, and then you'd have to take it back again. So he didn't want to kill it, so he ended up just taking pictures and releasing it. David, he did get the lake record for the flathead last year. And I think David, they're 27 pounds, is that right? 26, 27? So in his scenario, same thing. He really didn't want to kill the fish, but unfortunately on that one, the fish was gut hooked, which meant when he took the bait, he swallowed that thing all the way down. And just in the process of the fight of him just trying to get the fish to the boat, obviously not knowing that it's gut hooked, by the time he got to the boat, the fish was pretty much essentially dead. There was going to be no way to revive it. Maybe if it was a quick land, maybe cut the line, you know, but he fought it for a good while, and the fish was pretty much already exhausted, and he was done. But yeah, he just commented. So 23.5 pounds, guys. So yeah, David has the lake record for a flathead catfish at Calaveras Lake. And had he not caught that fish, I swear to God, I've been telling people forever there's no flatheads in that lake. And of course, he
He proved you wrong.
he proved us wrong. He proved us wrong. He proved a couple people wrong. It was funny because he sent me that picture, and I asked what lake he was at, and he told me Calaveras, and I thought he was lying. And then here he comes strolling up next to my boat on his boat, and he's got the fish in his boat. So yeah, it was pretty. It made for a funny story, but yeah, that was a pretty massive flathead we had at the lake. So yeah, so I know 2 people who have lake records, and then our other buddy TJ, he's got the lake record for a channel catfish at Browning Lake. So I think his is sitting at 13 pounds right now. So that's another good size for a channel. That's a good size channel. Yeah, guys, but if you want to go fishing for some white bass, there comes summertime. If you want to go, hey Jordan, Jordan, what's up?
I want to go fishing.
If you want to go fish, yeah, Leo wants to go fishing. Yeah, you all can hit up David. He's available at Calaveras Lake. Right now, I think me and him are primarily focusing on the river. But David's another good guide out there. Jeff's a good guide. TJ's another good guide. Like, I have no problems, guys, recommending guides who I know at least, you know, are pretty cool, that will get you guys on some fish. And you know, I know I'm kind of guiding now as my full-time gig, but you know, at the end of the day, if people want to go fishing and if I'm unavailable, you know, I'm gonna want to make sure that, you know, they get on some fish with somebody, and so I have no problems recommending somebody else, you know, and then vice versa. I know David, Jeff, TJ, Bones, Travis. I'm sorry if I leave some people out, but a lot of times they've also have called me and asked if I had, you know, days available to help them out on trips, and you know, sometimes I've been able to, and sometimes I haven't. So, you know, it's a give and take relationship out there, you know. So long as you're on good terms with everybody, you know, you help them out, they help you out. So it's all good. On the ads, as far as monetary, I think you can skip them. What really helps me out is just the total view time. So if you guys are watching the videos, like, I would just prefer, like, not the ads. You can skip the ads, because some ads you can skip and some you can. But just as long as you just watch the video, like, the longer you watch the video, the more watch time credit I get, which then ends up helping my my YouTube account. And then also, the more likes I can get on videos, it helps with the algorithm. Anytime there's any kind of activity on a video, it helps to push the video, I guess, up for like other people to view. So if you guys just do a thumbs up, if you guys do a comment, even if you just say hi, just any kind of activity, so hi, a question, whatever, all of that helps the YouTube algorithm push my videos up, so that other people who probably are not subscribed, who have never seen videos of mine, it kind of puts it in their potential view, so that they can click on it, so they can hopefully start watching, and hopefully, you know, start getting some more subscribers. And then the more subscribers you get, then the more viewers you get, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, as far as skipping the ads, I don't think it does anything. And believe me, guys, when I watch videos, I hit the skip button. I wait for the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I skip. And then the ones that I can't skip, you know, I will watch those. But yeah, if you guys can help, though, if you can help suggest, if you guys have Facebook pages or Instagram or whatever, if you guys can share the videos, or you can share my page, if you all can share it, I mean, it definitely helps me out a lot. So, and the way YouTube works is that in 30 days, you have to make at least $100 for them to cut you a check. So if you make $99.50 and the 30 days are up, it does not carry over to the next month. It's pretty much done, and then they just start all over again. So yeah, so definitely the more view time, the more watch time I get, that all ends up helping me out long term.
Did you see your gift?
So yeah, good question, guys. Thank you.
I got
Yeah, guys, David's a cool guy. I've known David for, I don't know, 6 years probably. I actually first met David at the lake. Him and his buddy Sherman actually had booked a trip with me. I don't know, it's probably, I don't know, 4 years maybe. I could be wrong, David. I sent you a picture, but I think it's been like 4 years. But yeah, he booked a trip with me, him and his buddy Sherman. So we did a trip out of the lake for some catfish, and we did pretty good. But I was just introducing him to the local lakes since he had just moved down here. What are we cooking? We are cooking fajitas and sausage. Yeah, he was biting me earlier. Yeah. Yeah, my son was biting me on the leg earlier, guys. He's turning into a dog.
Look at him.
He's biting my wife right now.
Boy.
Bite her. Bite her. Get her. Get her.
World War Z.
He's turning into a zombie. So bait minnows, guys. So I was talking about it at the beginning of the video. We just get minnows, Bud's Bait and Tackle. They're down there by Choke Canyon. They sell them, I think it's $4.99 for a dozen. And the minnows lasted a real good while. I had, like I was just saying, the last video I had, those minnows were in there for like 6 days and they were still alive. But yeah, minnows is always good to have minnows. And then we usually use artificial lures. So I use some little, they're like half-ounce slabs. Then I usually have like a crappie hair jig tied up about 2 feet above that. That sometimes helps to get doubles on our jigging. But I usually have those two methods running. And then it seems to work out. And there's days we go out there that, you know, all they want to hit is minnows and they won't touch the lures. And there are days we go out there and all they do is hit the lures. And there's days we'll go out there, especially now that it's getting colder. They'll just hit anything. You put anything down there and they'll smack whatever the hell's down there. All right, Jojo, catch you later, man. But yeah, if you are interested in how we do fish for them, tell Rich. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. But I actually do. If you go to on my page, not Facebook, my YouTube page, I have a playlist. And I've been trying to put the link at the beginning of my videos. So you'll see it kind of comes up. It usually has the introduction with the date, and then it says my Facebook page name, and then it says like, comment, and subscribe. Then usually right after that, I have a little icon that comes up on the top that says playlist. So if you hit the playlist, there's one of the, I got like 15 videos on the playlist, but one of them is how to fish for white bass. So there, it's me and David fishing, and we kind of talk about the different the lures we use, and then the minnows, and how we kind of set up the minnows. I think the only thing I changed on the minnow one, guys, is that in the video I showed fishing the minnows with some split shot. So you have the leader going down to the hook, and we have some split shots up on top. That's how we showed in the videos. But here recently I changed it to where it's pretty much just a drop shot. So I have the weight on the bottom, and like a foot up, I have a hook on a drop shot, and that's where I've been putting the hook, and it's been working out pretty well also. The reason I did change that is because I'm having to have my clients more times, you know, I tell them open the bail and just let it hit bottom. It's a lot easier to tell when it hits bottom when there's a weight on the bottom as compared to the split shots on the top, because then you gotta let it drop, see when you hit bottom, you gotta crank it up usually like one turn. So sometimes you might be out of that range. So for me to try and get my clients to do it, it's easier to just have the weight on the bottom, and then I just tell them like, hey, drop it. Once you hit bottom, just close the bail and you're good to go. So that's why I started switching it up.
He's a brat.
Nothing is real. You gotta get some fish out there, man. Brawning, like I was just telling you, people are catching reds at Brawning. My buddy Scott's out there right now, and he's catching reds at Brawning. He's killing them today. Scott's out there right now. He already has like 5 or 6. So he's doing pretty good. Sorry, I was talking to my wife for there. 4 times already. Dang. And then Jeff, one of the other guys, he just sent me a picture. He just got the lake record blue on Calvers. Yeah, 39 pounds.
It's huge. It's ginormous.
It's a huge fish.
It's only like a baby.
Yeah, it's a big fish, guys. That is huge. All right. Well, you all got a question for Leo? He's a surprise guest today.
Love my Bud Light.
We can turn the
Love my Bud Light, and I
camera
love
back there.
smoking cigars. I've been trying to get into the water with this guy, but I
This guy always says he's working. It's like the excuse of a lifetime.
oh my god.
He's always working, guys. He can't go fish. Oh, don't ask me about corpus fishing. I have no idea.
We go to somebody for that.
Yeah, he said it exactly right. Like when we go, we try and hire somebody. No, I mean I'll take my boat down there, but in all honesty, guys, like the saltwater is just like a blind shot for me. We basically just go to have a good time. We're not really trying to target anything specific. We still do catch. Every time we've gone and we take the boat, every trip we've always caught something, whether it be some small speckled trout, stingrays seem to be the thing we catch every trip. We've caught some small black tips. We've caught bonnethead sharks. This summer we caught some like massive, like I'm talking massive ladyfish. I'm talking about like line draggers, man. We hooked up and it's pulling line like crazy. But we always catch. Now is whether we catch stuff that's edible or not. That's another story.
Remember, I even asked you why don't you a captain down there? Like
I don't want you.
Mm-hmm.
A 32-incher. Dang, that must have been a nice fight. Israel, my boat does real good out there. In the bay, I really need to get a jack plate. If I could get a jack plate, it would make traveling the bay easier. But I can still get around in the bay. I just have to tilt my engine. Like normally my engine's down. I got to tilt it. I mean, the props are barely under the water. And that's how I kind of navigate. And it kind of sucks. So I need to get a jack plate so I can just raise the engine and be able to full throttle that out there. Now, as far as going out, so we did do 2 days where we went 5 miles out, and the boat handled great. Now, granted, we went out, I think the first day it was 0.5 foot swells every 8 seconds, which pretty much is almost flat. There's still like a little bit of a wave. And then the second day it was like 1.5, 2 foot swells every 6 seconds, which translates to obviously it's 1.5 to 2 feet, the water, the chop. And you hit the chop faster. It was a little bumpier, but the boat still handled fine, and we didn't I don't think I was in a situation where I thought like, oh my god, I got to turn back. So it did pretty well. Now my buddy David, he's pretty much has the same boat as me. Mine's a 21.8, his is a 25.8, so it's 4 foot longer. He went out there. I think he was like in 5 foot swells, and he took that thing like 20 miles out, and. I mean, he was fishing with me, so he survived. But he's got more courage than me. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. I kind of gave him a hard time about that. But yeah, he definitely has a lot more courage than I do. I would have tried leaving the jetties, and I would have seen that, and I would be like,
Nope.
hell no, we're turning back
around.
I definitely do not want to do that. Definitely right. Look at that comment from David. Let's not talk about that trip. But he did catch a lot of fish, guys. I mean, he had pictures. I think he had snapper. He had kingfish.
Damn.
I think, do you have an AJ also? He had a bunch of stuff, guys. I mean, he made it back, but he caught a lot of fish. He was sending me pictures, and I was just like, holy crap. Man, he caught a lot of stuff out there.
What was he using for bait?
Artificial and bait mullet, I think is what he had. Are the campgrounds safe at Choke? I think they are. They have, if you have like an RV, they have connection sites out there. They actually have cabins in the lake grounds also. Now, granted, it's just pretty much just 4 walls and cots that are in the cabins. But you're not staying in the cabins for like luxury. You're just staying in the cabins just so you can sleep. But yeah, I do see families out there. Right now, we're seeing a lot of hunters. They're renting out the cabins so they can just stay there and they hunt every day because they're hunting out ducks. But yeah, I would definitely say it's safe. But just keep in mind there are gators there, and they do have signs They have signs posted everywhere reminding you that there are gators out there. So I think so long as you're mindful about what's out there, I think you'll be okay. I tell you what, we were coming down the river last week, and on the bank, I saw a guy. I mean, literally, hands behind his head, laying down on the ground with his foot like not even a foot off the water. And oh my God, I about had a heart attack, guys. Like, because if a gator were to sneak up on that guy, I mean, he would have no time to get up and get away from it. But there was no gator attacks. So I guess he was okay. But gators do attack out the guys. But yeah, I saw him, and I was just amazed. I was like, hell no, would you see me doing that? I mean, if I were to fish the bank, I'd probably be like 10 foot away from the bank just to make sure I could run from whatever came after me. That's a good question. That is a good question. 1 second. Hey Victor, so when you're saying they swallow the hook, are you talking about the white bass, or what are you talking about? If it's a white bass, we usually just use the lures, so they have treble hooks on the artificials that we're using, and then on the minnows. I mean, I guess we could use circle hooks, but on the artificials, I like the treble hooks just because the white bass, their mouths are so flimsy. That's why a lot of times you'll see we'll lose a fish because they're hooked up and then it just rips through their mouth or whatever. I don't know if I would use circle hooks for the white bass. Definitely use them for catfish. Definitely use them for reds. Definitely use them when I go to the coast, just because we want to get everything right, in the corner of the mouth. But the white bass, I probably wouldn't use that. So let's see. So Texas 360 fishing. Great question. What process do you go through to become a guide?
Wow.
Let me tell you.
That's a great question.
And it's funny. You're going to think it's got to be more than that. If you want a freshwater guide, literally go to the Academy, Bass Pro, Walmart, whoever sells fishing licenses.
He said guns.
You're going to go and you're just going to tell them you want a license for a freshwater guide. That's it. All you got to do. There's nothing else required out of you by the state of Texas to be a freshwater fishing guide. That's all you need. Get your license, make yourself a page, do a Google page, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Start getting some clients, start building a client base, and just start taking people fishing. That's it. Now, if you want to do saltwater, that's a completely different story. If you want to do saltwater fishing, whether it's, I guess, kayak or boat or whatever, that's funny. That one, you need a captain's license. That one is a lot more work. I think the testing site, is in Houston, and it's a week-long course, so I think it's Monday to Friday. Last I heard that I looked into it, it was about 4 years ago, so the prices may have gone up, but back then it was about $3,000, and you had to take a week-long course, and you had to have so many hours logged on saltwater. And I could be wrong. I can't remember if it was 150 hours or 300 hours, but you had to have a certain number of hours logged, verified by somebody who's already a captain, to say you've been on the water already, for X amount of time. And I could be wrong in that part, guys. I know there's a certain number of hours. I just don't know how many hours you need. But it's a lot more extensive to be a saltwater fishing guide, which is why then when people ask me, well, why do they charge so much money? They had to put a lot of money just to get that license. So obviously they need to try and get a return on investment. So they're going to ask for more money. But yeah, that's a lot harder. But if you want to do freshwater, it is just a matter, again, get your freshwater guide license. It's about $145, and that's it. And it lasts for 1 year. Now, granted, you still need to follow all the rules. Any of the boater rules apply. So whether you're a guide or not, if you're on a boat, if you have 4 people on the boat, you better have 4 life jackets. And you have to have a toss ring. So it's either the square one that they sell or the circular one, but you have to have a toss ring. You have to have a fire extinguisher. And then the guides, at least for Texas, the guides you can use the guide as an extra person to get limits. So example, if I take 3 people fishing for redfish, limits are 3 people or 3 reds per person. But if I have 3 clients, that's 3 people plus myself, it is 4th. You can add my limit. So basically, if we limit out, you're talking about 9 redfish, not 12. And it's the same thing with the white bass. So we just limited out yesterday on white bass, but I had 2 guys, so we had 50 white bass, and that's it. So the guide, you cannot add the guide's limit to your catch, is the other thing. So there are a couple rules you got to follow, but most of the rules are the same as if you just had a boat. And then there's just a couple of different ones where if you're the guide. But the biggest one I noticed is just that if you're the guide, you can be drinking, the guide can be drinking, and you cannot count the guide's limit towards your own limit. So say if I wanted to go fish for myself, if I had clients, I'd have to take my clients, end that trip, go in, clean their fish, whatever, and then I would have to go back out by myself to fish, and then I can catch fish for myself. That's kind of how that works out. Yeah, Big Daddy, I will be at the river, all week. I'll be out there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm taking Thursday off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, I have trips pretty much all week. And then next week, it's a little spotty. I already have people booking. I just had 2 guys call me today to get 2 other days booked up. But for my January schedule after this week, I think I have 6 days available, open, 6 or 7. But I'm pretty confident those days will get filled up as we get a little bit closer. Good bait for the lake. Depends what you're fishing for. If you still want to try and go for reds, shrimp, head-on shrimp. I heard crawfish season is already back. You can try crawfish, or just any kind of live bait. Live shad, live tilapia, live perch, or cut bait. Throw a net, get some live bait, chop it up, throw it back out, and you can try and get some cats that way. I will tell you what though, guys, when I started to be a guide, what kind of got me into it was I was fishing all the time by myself, and then I didn't want to go by myself, so I started posting on some of the fishing forums, and I was just randomly throwing out like, hey, I'm going to be at the lake, does anybody want to go? And I started having just random strangers going with me to go fishing, and we were catching fish, and that's pretty much what a guide is. A guide, yes, you build your client base and you get a lot of your regulars after you've been doing it for a while, but at the beginning, pretty much everybody is a stranger. So I was doing that, and then I just told my wife one day, I said, hey, you know what, let me try the guide business and see if I can make some income off of it. And at the time, for the first 6 years, it was just like a little side gig, nothing major. And I told myself, well, if I get clients, great. And if not, I'm still going to be fishing anyways, so no big loss. And from when I first when I first made my Facebook page, I think it took close to about 2.5, 3 months before I finally had my first paying client. So during that time, to try and get word of mouth out and whatnot, I did a lot of free trips. I was always posting like, hey, I'm going back to the lake, and I took random strangers out, and then I told them like, hey guys, if you can, like, I'm trying to make this a business, so if you can kind of like word of mouth start, spreading the word out. And that's kind of how all that stuff got started. And then, once I finally got my first trip, I had 1 trip in a week, and then maybe 2 weeks later I had another trip. But then after that, it just started rolling pretty fast. And then for a while, like, all my off days from work, I was pretty much taking someone out fishing. And now at this point in time, it's kind of turned into my permanent gig. So now I just take people fishing out all the time. And I think it does help to have, like your clients coming back to you. Like you have to be very personable. It really does help to be able to carry on conversations with them. Like, yes, people want to go fish, they want to catch fish, but there's more to fishing than just catching fish, at least in my opinion. People want to go out, they want to be able to ask you questions, they want to be able to see you also as a person rather than just a fishing guide. And they like to hear stories. So we tell stories. I tell them fishing stories. I've told them personal life stories. I've told them work stories because I've been in retail 26 years. I have a lot of work stories, so that helps to make the time pass by quicker. And then it also helps to build the relationship, and it helps to fill the void also, because there's days where you're not catching anything, and if you're not talking, if you're not catching and you're not carrying on conversation, the time drags big time. All right. And then I think that really will turn off people from wanting to go out with you again. And I'm not exaggerating when I say there's been times we go and we catch, very minimal fish. And sometimes I think to myself, man, these guys are not going to call me again. But you know what? They call and they book another trip. And then they call and they book another trip. So they've become regulars because, from what they've told me is that they want to catch fish, but they want to be able to have a good time. And especially if they have kids. If you have someone with kids, you have to be very patient with the kids, all right? And you have to keep them entertained as well. Because kids, for sure, if you're not catching anything, kids get very distracted very quickly. So you need to keep them engaged. And the more you can do that, then the better. The parents also are going to see, like, hey, this guy's worked really well with my kids. They showed them a lot of stuff, and that also in turn helps build client base. So good question. I like that question. I might make a video just of that, like how do you be a guide. That's a good topic for a video. I can go on forever on that one. Telric, I used to fish Casablanca Lake, so I'm actually from Laredo. So born there, grew up there. I didn't move away from there until I think I was 25, 26. I'm trying to remember. But back then we used to fish Casablanca Lake, and we used to fish Falcon Lake. And we didn't have a boat, so all the time we fished was just by the bank on the shoreline. Since I've had my boats, I've had 3. Only my first boat that I had did I ever take it back down there to go fish the lake. So that's been, let's see, this boat I've had a year. My last boat I've had 6 years. So it's been close to about 8-9 years since I've taken my boat down there to go fishing. I do want to go back there. That lake does have some really good black bass, and it has some really good catfish too. So I would love to go back down there again and just see if the techniques that I've practiced and learned here would translate well to over there. I would hope they do, but yeah, I gotta make a trip down there one day. Was it ever uncomfortable with many different people? I don't know. I don't think so for me. Me working in retail for 20 some odd years. I mean, you meet a lot of people, guys, and especially at least in my scenario, I was fortunate enough that I worked in a lot of stores, so I wasn't ever just stuck in one store. They had me moving. It almost seemed like a routine, like every 1 year or 2 years, I was always jumping store to store. So it really forced me to obviously meet a lot of new people, and then having to reintroduce myself, and essentially all these people are strangers. And not unlike, say, fishing on a boat where it's like maybe 3 or 4 strangers, like I go to a store and there's like 100 strangers that I have to reintroduce myself to. So I think that kind of helped it. So I don't think I was ever uncomfortable with strangers. I would tell you I had some strange people call me to book a trip, and on 2 different scenarios, and on both of those I declined to take them out on the trip just because of the way that they were interacting with me on the phone. And on those 2 individuals, I was like, nope, call somebody else. I'm not gonna be dealing with that, because if already on the phone you're giving me a hard time, like, yeah, I guarantee they're gonna give me a hard time on the boat, and that's not gonna work out. But other than those 2 instances, I can't really say I had a bad time on the boat with people. I got crazy stories either about fishing or... Are we back? Guys, I don't know what happened. Did I lose everybody? Everybody back? My screen froze. Somebody called me and I had to hang up on my screen froze. Everybody's still... I don't know. I think I lost everybody.
No.
Everybody's still there? Did I lose y'all?
Pinche YouTube.
I think I lost everybody. Oh, well, the ticker's still going. Can anybody say if they're still on? This damn YouTube.
There you go.
Oh, Okay, good. Sorry, guys, my screen froze. Somebody called and I had to hang up, and my screen froze. Oh Lord, yeah. If I could, ever since I was 16, I should have just made a book of my retail life. I probably could have told it, and it probably would have been a bestseller. I guarantee you. I have a ton of funny stories about retail, like disasters, which quite a bit were caused by me, unfortunately, and then just stuff I've seen over the years. It's ridiculous. But I should have kept a journal. I could probably be a millionaire right now.
Yep.
You know, I could have titled it "My Retail Life."
Everyone should work retail at least
And
once,
God,
so you can see the
it would have been
what we
crazy.
go through.
Lorenzo, just seeing your question right now. So, prices for Calaveras and then for white bass. So for Calaveras Lake is 250. White bass is going to be 300. If you want, you can reach me at 210-478-8200, and we can talk a little bit more in detail about the costs. Do I have a backup boat? No, I don't.
He wishes.
So basically, if my boat were ever to be in the shop for an extended period of time, I am SOL. I don't want to say what it means, but I'm sure everybody understands what SOL means. I didn't answer the phone. I hit decline. I hit decline and it froze my screen. So I don't know what happened there. Yeah, I don't have a backup boat, guys, unfortunately. But yeah, y'all want to hear the funny story about the two guys I didn't want to take out?
They want to hear the story?
Let's see. Y'all want to hear the story? It's pretty funny. I think it's funny. Hey, Leo's beating me on beers. He's drank 3 and I'm only on 1.
Mm-hmm. He's slacking.
Yeah. We'll see if y'all want to hear the story. Yes. Julian said yes.
There you go.
All right. Hey, we got to get the fire started, dude.
Yeah. You do that. You do that. I'll get the punch.
That's good to know, Denny. So, the two guys that I told no to, and obviously I'm pretty sure they're not subscribers to my YouTube because I blocked them. Well, at least I blocked them on Facebook. So I had a guy call me once, and he, you know, like people call, they usually call and inquire, like, hey, what are the rates, you know, et cetera, whatever. So I'm talking to the guy, I'm telling him what my rates are. And then he ends up asking me, he's like, well, do you allow drinking on the boat? I mean, good question. So I'm like, yeah, in moderation. And the guy tells me, well, what does that mean? So right now, red flag. All right. If you don't know what moderation means, that's a concern. You know, so I asked the guy, I was like, well, I mean, how many people do you want to bring? And he tells me 3. So I'm like, all right, well, if you want to bring 3 people, buy yourself a 12-pack, have about 4 beers apiece. You know, just have a good time, enjoy yourselves, and, you know, let's go fish. So I'm going to have to, I'll abbreviate the words that he told me, but this is exactly what he told me. He says, if I'm going to pay for the effing trip, I'm going to do whatever the F I want. To which I responded, you know what, call somebody else, thank you, bye. So that was one of them. I'm like, guys, come on. If you're going to call someone to hire them for a trip, you know, don't do that. All right? Don't do that. It'd be different maybe if he came at it and said, hey, you know what? I understand that. I respect that. But it's just me and a couple buddies. We just want to go out. We just want to have a good time. You know, we won't get rowdy or whatever. I mean, you could have gone about it a different way. But if you're going to respond that way back to me, hell no. You're not going on my boat. So that was one guy. The second guy, and hopefully I don't offend any gun people on here. Guys, I've hunted. I've shot guns. My dad owns guns. I have no problems with hunting. I have no problems with people owning guns, etc. That's not the issue here. But the guy called and he was like, hey, do they have a 30-aught Sign 6 at the front entrance when you go in? And of course, I didn't know what that was. I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, yeah, they have to have a 30-aught 6 sign up at the front of the entrance. And so I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about like a gun? And basically what he's trying to tell me is he says that by regulation, they have to have a sign posted, and the sign has to be, I guess, a certain height, width. I'm not a gun expert, but that's what he was telling me. And he told me if they don't have that sign posted, then I can take whatever guns I want on the water. And so I told him, I said, sir, we're fishing, not hunting. And he's like, well, I don't care. You know, if they don't have that regulation posted, I'm going to take whatever I want. So I was like, you know what? I'm booked. Call somebody else. Like, I don't want to mess with you. In that scenario, God, I was like, heaven forbid we don't catch any fish. The guy's going to shoot me. So I had to tell that guy no also. So those are probably my two stories that went at it. Unfortunately, declined somebody for a fishing trip. And again, guys, like nothing against gun owners. I've hunted before. I have no problems. I have friends inviting me to go hunt. I have no problems going hunting. I have no problems with people owning guns. You know, it's your right. You do what you want. But again, there's a time and a place for certain scenarios. And also, there's a right way to talk to someone, especially if you're trying to hire somebody for a service. Maybe I'm wrong. Put in the comments if you think I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong, hey, you know, so be it. But it's my boat, and I don't feel comfortable with someone having a gun on my boat. Okay? Just the way it is. But those are two of my funnier stories. Yeah, so for those who ask, you know, how to be a guide, you probably expect to have some funny stuff like that kind of happen. But, you know, just stand your ground, whatever you want to do, and just stick to it, and don't let anybody sway you any other way.
You still have the squares?
Yeah, they're in the garage. Tell me if you like that story, guys. The two stories. Just do a thumbs up or something. Or like the video. Yeah, it's fishing, not hunting. And I said, like, it was funny. So on both instances, I was in my house. I was in my kitchen cooking when I got both those calls. And these are probably like a year apart. And my wife's there. And she's looking at me, like, carrying on the conversation, like, giving me, like, the eye, like, what the hell are they talking about? So when I hang up, I end up telling her, like, what they said. And, yeah, especially the gun one, I was like, man, that guy will probably shoot me. We'll end up getting skunked out, and he's going to shoot me out in the water. He's going to use me for bait. I did not want that happening. Well, cool, guys. Well, we're getting close to an hour. So if anybody has any last minute questions, still got 9 people on here. That's pretty good. That's exciting. I think we got up to like 15 people earlier. How would you all like for me to do a raffle for a free trip? Anybody interested in that? See how many people respond to that one. Be a free trip for whatever you want. It could either be white bass or you want to wait till summer. It can be for redfish. See if there's any interest for that. Yeah, you're one. So obviously, as I'm trying to build my YouTube channel, I need to try and figure out ways that I can try and get people to share my channel, you know, so I can get more subscribers, and then, you know, obviously get more viewers. So the easiest thing that I always see from, you know, I watch a bunch of different pages, whether it be, I have fishing pages that I follow. I have like sci-fi pages I follow. I have some video game pages that I follow. There's 2 new ones I started following just because they're pretty interesting. One is a guy, B. Allen, I think is his name, and he tells a bunch of stories about like scary stories, and he tells, like, a lot of them are like either scary stories or they're like missing people stories or just like weird incident stories and stuff that happen. And he basically gets a story and he tells it in a story format. It's pretty interesting. I like it. I like him. There's a new one I started following. I think it's Ammo, but it's not ammo like ammunition. It's these guys do details on cars, so they find all these old cars like in woods and garages, cars that haven't been washed in, you know, 30-40 years, and they take them and they restore these cars and they look really, really nice. So I follow a bunch of different people. And long story short, like a lot of these people, when they're trying to build their channel, they do a lot of like either giveaways, and depending what they have. So, you know, if it's the car details, they give away some of their product that they use for washing. Some of the sci-fi stuff, they give away like free movies or, you know, action figures or whatnot. The video game people, they give away free games. In the garage on the right side, underneath the lures and stuff. So yeah, so easiest thing for me to do is to give away a fishing trip. So I'm trying to figure out how I can do that. So it'll probably end up being something to where I'll probably end up making a video and saying like, hey, share, like, comment on a particular video. And probably I'll end up saying like, if this video gets, you know, I'll have to think of a number, X number of like thumbs up, likes, shares, etc. Then we'll probably end up giving away a free fishing trip. Just because, like I said, guys, we want to, you know, as we're trying to make the guiding thing more like a permanent deal. I need to find other avenues to get income, and YouTube's a good one for content creators. So the biggest way to do that is to build my subscriber base and also to just get my views up. So I might end up doing that here pretty soon. Danny, book a trip with me, and then win the raffles, and you get 2 trips. So basically, you get them half off. Oh God, there's Kira. Kira's barking. You want to see Kira? Kira, say hi. Say hi, Kira. Well, Kira wants to go inside. All right, guys. So we're about an hour. We need to start cooking because it's starting to get dark. And then, like I said, I got a trip tomorrow. Well, not a trip. I'm taking my daughter. So it's a fun trip. But we will see y'all later. Thank you, everybody, for getting on and watching. Again, guys, if you can, like the video, comment on the video. There's a bunch of comments on here, but continue to comment. If you guys can, share my channel. You know, if you guys have Facebook pages or whatnot, share my channel. It does help out. I do post videos of all of my fishing trips with my clients. And if you guys have been following me before, especially trips by myself, I mean, if I catch 0 fish, I'm going to put the video up. If I catch a bunch of fish, I'm going to put the video up. Because at the end of the day, guys, it is fishing. It's not catching. As a lot of you guys, if you do fish, you know, unfortunately, there are days that you can't make the fish bite, no matter what you try. And it is what it is. But I like to try and keep it real. And that's why I post all my videos, so people can honestly see there's good days, there's bad days, there's amazing days, and there's just really, really crappy days, you know, and it's just kind of like all in between. But I can guarantee you, if you guys go with me on a trip, I will do everything in my power to try and catch the fish. But at the same time, I'll try and make your trip enjoyable so that, you know, my goal obviously is for you all to rebook again for another day. Easiest way to do that is if I catch a lot of fish, that's usually how I get my repeat clients. But at the same time, like I said, I've taken people where we catch very minimal, but because of the interactions that we have, they enjoy it, and they still end up booking and future trips, and they end up becoming regular clients of mine. So that really helps out a lot. So yeah, so for now, we'll see y'all later. Thank you all for joining. Bye. I got to get to cooking. Later.